Toyota's story is about much more than the birth of a simple automobile brand. It is a long and inspiring journey that illustrates how an idea that began in one person's mind evolved over the years into one of the world's most powerful industrial giants through discipline, patience, and a commitment to continuous improvement. At the beginning of this journey stands Sakichi Toyoda, an extraordinary inventor working in a quiet corner of Japan who wanted machines not only to function but also to operate flawlessly. For him, production was about quality, not just quantity. At the beginning of this journey stands Sakichi Toyoda, an extraordinary inventor working in a quiet corner of Japan who wanted machines not only to function but also to operate flawlessly. For him, production was about quality, not just quantity. Although this approach may have seemed merely an engineering feat at the time, it went down in history as the first concrete example of the "stop if there's a problem" philosophy that would form the foundation of the Toyota culture to be established in the future. Kiichiro Toyoda, Sakichi's son, watched his father's successes with admiration, yet he envisioned his own future in a very different field, for what captured his interest was not the rhythm of looms, but the power of engines and the boundless freedom of movement offered by the open road. By the 1930s, as the world was changing rapidly, the automotive industry began to take center stage in this transformation, and Kiichiro Toyoda, recognizing this shift early on, foresaw that the future of transportation would be shaped in this field. This prediction carries significant risk, as Japan lacked the necessary technical infrastructure for automobile production at the time, and Western manufacturers were far ahead in this field. Even so, Kiichiro Toyoda decided to invest all his resources in a new vision, and this decision became one of the most important steps in shaping Toyota's future. When the Toyota Motor Company was officially founded in 1937, no one could have predicted that this small venture would eventually become a force that would profoundly impact the global automotive industry. Even the decision to change the company's name from Toyota to Toyota stands out as a deliberate choice. This name not only flows more smoothly when spoken, but also represents a spelling considered more auspicious in Japanese culture. However, no matter how well chosen the name may be, the obstacles facing the company were immense. Limited resources, insufficient technical expertise, and powerful competitors made Toyota's early years extremely challenging. Faced with these challenges, the company fails time and again, errors occur in production processes, and results fall short of expectations. However, Toyota chooses to view these failures not as an end in themselves, but as lessons to be learned. Just as this process was unfolding, the world was plunged into a new crisis, and with the outbreak of World War II, Toyota was forced to shift its production to military vehicles in order to survive. The end of the war, however, brought with it not so much a new beginning as the uncertainties that follow massive destruction, for Japan's economy had collapsed, its industrial infrastructure was largely destroyed, and companies were forced to rebuild from scratch. For Toyota, this period became one of the times when the struggle for survival was felt most acutely, and the company was driven to the brink of bankruptcy. Amid the difficult decisions made during this process, including layoffs and restructuring, the company's future came to be seriously questioned. However, it was precisely at this point that Toyota turned to an idea that would completely change its direction, realizing that the real solution lay not in producing more, but in producing smarter. This realization formed the foundation of the approach known as the Toyota Production System, which would serve as a model for the rest of the world in the years to come. The core idea of this system is crystal clear. Everything unnecessary in the production process must be eliminated, waste must be minimized, and every stage must be redesigned to be as efficient as possible. This approach is also supported by the Kaizen philosophy, the philosophy of continuous improvement, which aims to achieve daily progress through small but steady steps. Toyota also adopts the just-in-time production model, ensuring that only the necessary amount is produced, thereby reducing inventory costs and optimizing resource utilization. When these systems come together, Toyota becomes a brand that produces not only more efficient but also significantly higher quality vehicles. In the 1950s, as the company began to grow slowly but steadily, the first steps were taken toward the goal of expanding into international markets. The US market was at the center of these goals. However, the initial efforts did not yield the expected success. Toyota automobiles fell short of meeting American users' needs. Rather than causing the company to retreat, this setback spurred it to work even harder and improve its products. By the 1960s, Toyota had established itself in a much stronger position and achieved massive global success with the launch of the Toyota Corolla. Thanks to its durability, affordability, and appeal to a broad audience, the Corolla quickly became one of the world's most popular cars and played a key role in Toyota's global expansion. Thanks to the economical vehicles the company developed, sales increased significantly, and the brand established a strong reputation for reliability. By the 1980s, Toyota had become a brand distinguished not only by its economical vehicles, but also by its high-quality standards, and during this period, it established the Lexus brand to enter the luxury segment. Lexus's success demonstrates Toyota's ability to cater to different customer segments while further solidifying the brand's global strength. In the 1990s, investments in technology gained momentum, and efforts focused on environmentally friendly vehicles came to the forefront. The most significant outcome of these efforts was the development of the Toyota Prius. The Prius is regarded as one of the most successful examples of hybrid technology in mass production, and symbolizes the beginning of a new era in the automotive industry. By the 2000s, Toyota had become one of the world's largest automakers, secured a strong position in the global market, and transformed into an international giant by establishing production facilities across different continents. However, this journey of success was not entirely smooth. Occasional recall crises and quality issues tested the company's reputation, but Toyota managed to regain customer trust by swiftly and effectively addressing these challenges. Today, Toyota positions itself not only as an automaker but also as a technology and mobility company, making significant investments in artificial intelligence, autonomous driving systems, and sustainable energy solutions. Looking at where Toyota stands today, it is clear that this success is no accident. Behind this story lies years of disciplined work, learning from mistakes, and an unwavering determination never to give up. Ultimately, Toyota's story is the story of a vision that began in a small workshop and eventually spread across the globe, and it remains one of the most compelling examples of how the entrepreneurial spirit, patience, and continuous improvement can yield such powerful results. Addressing these challenges.